Hello friends and welcome. I'm Peachysimsie. You can call me Kat. This is our very first video on the channel. We are going to be playing the Poison Garden Legacy Challenge, and so we're just about to hop into Cass with our founder. So we're just gonna hop right into Cass. I'm actually really proud of how she turned out. I think she's really cute. I do a lot of fussing and fiddling around because I've been watching other legacy challenges recently, particularly Lil Simsie's Nightmare Legacy Challenge, which always obsessed. And she notes at the beginning of like every new generation as they become a teen that after a certain amount of time, the following Sims sort of start losing their like chin or their shoulders, and so I wanted to make sure, at least with her face, that we wouldn't be having any issues with her chin disappearing as we go through the generations. And I will admit to the fact that I will fiddle in Cass if I have any issues with those things happening, just because I don't want my poor Sim to have a weak little jaw, and it really doesn't look nice when their shoulders are like half the size of their hips. You're also going to be seeing a lot of CC throughout this video. Any of the CC that I use, I will try and link below, or at least I'll try and link it in a future video. The hair that I'm using is by Clumsy Alien, that's just on their Patreon. I have a lot of CC from them. I'm a little obsessed. They make the best hairs, and I really like this set of braids because we really don't have a whole lot of braids like this in the actual game, which frustrates me because I really like braids and I think they're a really cute, easy hairstyle that we should just have more of, because we have a million ponytails of varying lengths and volumes and sizes, and we have no braids. We don't have a lot of buns either, and that's a whole other problem that I have with The Sims. So to the actual point at hand, we are making our founder right now for a legacy challenge. It's called the Poison Garden Legacy Challenge, and I found it over on Tumblr. It's by Rosesupposesmanythings. And in their information that they have about the challenge itself, it started as a random musing so that they could write a challenge that forced them to deviate from playing fundamentally nice or good Sims without having total miscreants and exploring more of the game, which really intrigues me because I'm a boring legacy player. I always use really nice traits for all my Sims, and that can get really boring. And so I immediately thought, this could be fun. Why don't I have a look? And so it's a narrative-driven legacy challenge. And each generation has a poison trait that they have to contend with, and their goals are based loosely on the properties, colors, and flower meanings of various poisonous or toxic plants, which again, I thought was really interesting. Also, if you are still primarily a Sims 3 player, they are working on a Sims 3 version as well, or they were working on a Sims 3 version. I don't know how old this post actually is. But I'll link their blog and everything down below so that you can have a look. I did already film the first episode prior to recording this voiceover, but after obviously doing this cast. And I did go over the rules there, but I might as well just go over them really quickly here as well, just so if this is the first video you're seeing, you have that information, and if that was the first video you're seeing, then you had it there too. You know, it can't hurt. And I will also, I do have a build video waiting, so I'll also go over the building rules and stuff in there on that video as well. But I'll just keep to the main rules for this one, and I might go over the rules for the first 2 generations. So that'll be our founder right here, and then her child. So the general rules for each generation are that you have to complete the relevant career, aspiration, and max the skills that are listed below for each generation. We'll have a look at those in a minute. They've tried to leave room for creativity in our story, so including a trait slot per gen for us to choose, and they've said that you can feel free to change rules to match the packs that you have and the story idea that you have. The only thing that you must keep is the poison trait for each generation, and keeping the challenge level the same by swapping out a max skill for another skill, etc., etc. So, for example, the first generation, one of the aspiration that it gives you is the outdoor enthusiast aspiration. And so if you don't have outdoor retreat, then I'm sure that you could switch it out for a different outside or nature-based aspiration, as long as you're keeping it within like the same aspiration tree, based on your limitations or your packs. You can kind of do what you need to do. So next, each heir should try and have their urn saved and a portrait painted or cross-stitched. Kids can be biological or adopted except in Gen 9. And you can play it berry or vanilla with the colors used in decor clothes. So I think that's referencing the That's So Berry challenge by Rosesupposesmanythings, where everything is color-coded. And as you've been seeing here, I have been going with a pretty specific color code. The colors for the first generation are light green and dark blue, so that's what we've gone for in a lot of her outfits and her hair as well. So before I get into the details on Gen 1, while I was recording the last couple clips about the general rules for each legacy, my partner actually flagged me down pretty much to let me know that Rose Supposes is actually no longer playing this legacy. They posted on their Tumblr a week ago saying that it no longer fits their play style, and so they've given it up, and they're playing something else over on their YouTube channel instead of this challenge. And that's, you know, it's sad, but I get it. Sometimes you have to abandon something because it's just not working out how you wanted it to, and it's not fun. And the whole point of The Sims is that it's supposed to be fun, right? So I completely respect that they're no longer doing their challenge, but I'm gonna do their challenge. You know, very, Jenna Marbles when she did that James Charles makeup video, and he said, "It's not wearable," and she said, "I'm wearing it." I apologize in advance, since this is the very first video that's going to be on this channel. I apologize in advance for how many times I am likely to reference Jenna Marbles over the course of my time playing on this channel, because to this day I still have an unhealthy obsession with that woman. Anyways, getting back into our rules, we're just going to have a look at Gen 1 first, and then we'll see if we have time left in the video to have a peek at Gen 2. So Gen 1 is based on the Aconite flower, and the little subheader here is "Beware, a deadly foe is near." The storyline attached is: raised by your paranoid mother, your founder has been taught to fend for herself and trust no one. After running away from a dark event in your past, you live in almost complete isolation. Nature is your family and your protector, and your bite is worse than your bark. You swear you need nothing and nobody but yourself for the rest of your life. Now the colors are pale green and deep blue. The traits are loner, loves outdoors, and then your pick. And as you've already seen, I picked paranoid because when your mother is paranoid, there is very little doubt that you will also be paranoid. The skill to max this generation is herbalism, and the aspirations that you can pick from according to the rules are outdoor enthusiast or country caretaker. And as we can see here, I did go for the outdoor enthusiast because I actually only recently got it feels silly to say, but I only recently got outdoor retreat. I know it was the very first pack that came out for the game ever, but I only got it this past summer, I think, or early in the fall. And I really haven't played with it much except for the absolutely OP relationship builder that is asking a sim to cloud gaze or stargaze with you. And so I wanted to have more of a look into the pack itself and the things that come along with it, which includes that aspiration. And I'm actually really excited to get into it. The next section is about the living situation and her house, so I'm not going to get too deep into that because I do have a build video that I'm doing as well, and so I'll talk a little bit more about that there. But the basics of it is that she's a rags to riches founder, so she shouldn't really have a whole lot of nice stuff. You can have a small building, a small indoor space for safety, and to be able to meet at least some of your Sims' needs, but that's really about it. And then you have to play off the grid, which I haven't done a lot of either. And so we start out with 100 simoleons and a tiny house on a rural lot, and you go from there. Now, because this is a legacy challenge, there are going to have to be children that come out of this. So they do have relationship rules here. And so you have two possible paths depending on the pack. You can only meet romance or socialize with other Sims in vacation worlds. So places like Granite Falls or Salvadorado. If you don't have these, you can choose another neighborhood and go there to gather your ingredients, and you can change this as you need to suit the story. I will be going to Granite Falls a lot since I chose that aspiration, and so we will probably be going to Granite Falls quite a lot anyways for the aspiration. However, the second relationship option that they give you is that if you have country living, you can romance the creature keeper after going into cast and making them look a little bit less like a potato left in the sun. But you can only meet up with him in the Bramblewood. And so you should not tell the other parent about any children you have if your founder is male, enable pregnancy, or steal the baby. As you can see here, we just have a standard female sim. She is a cis woman, and she is going to be getting pregnant. Children should not leave the lot aside from going to school, which according to the rules is foraging for story purposes, but I think we can let our kid have school until they're teens. At school, they may not use the socialized interaction, and I think this also extends to the fact that they can't invite over other Sims after school. And then any Sims that try to talk to your founder, you're mean to them, and if they persist, then you fight them. If they continue, then maybe we kill them. We'll see what we do. And so then for making money, you have to sell the produce and the makes that you have. With cottage living, you must go down to the stalls in town to sell your produce. And I learned the hard way that you can't sell anything else but the produce there. So that was a super fun realization. Also, don't mind me trying to fix that voice. I'd had headphones on for class earlier and it was being weird. And then for the optional extras that they have, I'm only going to list one because it's the only one that I know I'm probably going to do, and that's from Cottage Living. We're going to try to make every canning recipe and have them on a survival shelf, just for fun. We are coming up on the end of the video in just a second, but I will at least tell you a little bit about our Gen 2. We're not there yet, but we might as well have a look. So Gen 2 is based off of Lily of the Valley, and the subheading here is Sweetness and Tears. And it says, you've been shielded from the world, but a chance encounter as a teen made you dream of a bigger world than your family plot. Running away on your 18th birthday, you find the big wide world may be uglier than you dreamed. So I won't go into all of the details on that. We'll leave that for another day because we are just about finished up, I think, in CAS. I think I'm just putting on a few finishing details here. and we'll leave some fun mystery for ourselves until later. I'm really excited to start this challenge. I really do love playing The Sims, and I struggle a lot with playing on my own and actually continuing to play from one generation to the next, and I want to get better at that. I do have a Twitter where I'm also Peachysimsie, and I've been posting there about my Nightmare Legacy save, so that's a short lifespan save. Yeah, so here she is in all her glory, Aconite Flora, our founder, and this is who we'll be playing with on a normal lifespan for the foreseeable future until we inevitably have her child, and her child becomes a young adult. So I know this was really chatty and annoying, but I want to thank you so much for watching my video, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!